All right.
We are live.
Yeah, buddy.
Episode 9 of the Joey Tryon Show, on location in Los Angeles with a very special guest today. Someone who has an inspirational story that I've been following myself for a few years now. I was lucky enough to meet Russ at Supercross through an old job, through Jordan Burns of Strung Out and Colin Morrison, who's a freestyle motocross legend in his own right. So, Russ, why don't you just introduce us to yourself?
Yeah.
And
Dude, right on. Thanks for having me, Joey.
hey, of course, thank you
Appreciate coming out too.
Thank you for having us and making some time for me. And
I always did. Well, my name's Russ Burke. I was injured 8 years ago in Lake Havasu, May 26th of 2013. I was out there. I dove off the back of the boat and hit the bottom of the river, and I broke my C4, C5 vertebrae in my neck and became instantly paralyzed from the neck down. So when we're out in Havasu and I dove off the boat, I hit the bottom, broke my neck, and I was floating face down in the water for probably felt like an eternity. It was probably a minute, maybe two at the most, and I was floating and just thinking to myself, I didn't know I was paralyzed yet. I just knew I was like, I can't move, and sitting there floating thinking, dude, if someone doesn't catch me, I'm going to drown,
Yeah.
So I'm floating there, and finally my girlfriend at the time pulls me up by my shorts. It's like, Russ, quit effing around. And I'm like, dude, I'm not messing around. I can't move. So they pull me up on shore, my buddies run and get help, call the ambulance, and they take me to Needles Hospital, and Needles Hospital's like, dude, we can't do nothing. This guy needs a trauma 1 hospital. Yeah. So they fly me from Needles to UMC in Vegas. And at the time, I didn't even know it, but I guess I flatlined twice in the helicopter and then once in the ICU. And I spent 6 weeks in Vegas in ICU. And from Vegas, I went to Craig Hospital out in Colorado. So did rehab out there. And, spent 3 months out there. And when you're doing rehab out there, rehab, it's, constant 8 to 5 every day. You're up doing physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, all this stuff. So, my mind's, going all day long,
Yeah.
And I came home and I think it was October 31st, I came home and, that's when shit really hit,
Yeah.
So I come home and, I come in my room and, my family gets me in bed and, the next day, I wake up and I just sit there lying staring at the ceiling, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this is my new life.
Yeah.
And that was probably my darkest times,
Yeah.
First coming home, for probably the first 3 months, I was super dark. Dude, I really could care less if I was still living. If I could have pulled the trigger, I probably would have swallowed some lead. I was like, dude, I don't want to live. I was thinking, dude, I can't do anything with my kids. I can't do anything for myself. I was like, what do I do?
You mentioned your kids. I noticed through following you have kids. How old are they?
Yeah, my he's 18, and my daughter will be 17.
So
they were when it happened, I think they were 8 and 9.
Yeah, man.
So, and it affected them, the injury just doesn't affect me. It affects my family, my friends, my kids, it affected everyone,
Yeah.
But anyway, so when I came home, I got super dark, super depressed, because I thought life was over, I was like, what am I going to do? I can't move, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. I use a ventilator to breathe now. I was just really dark,
Yeah.
And it was I had this guy Andrew come over from, it's called the Tryon Foundation, and he's the founder, and it's a foundation that goes out and helps people with spinal cord injuries.
Right.
So my sister had found those guys, and they had come out and visited me. So he brought a guy that was pretty much my same place. You know, he's a quad on a vent. You know, pretty much I think we were the same injury as well. And they roll into my room, and I'm over here in my room having a pity party for myself. You know, and these guys are like, bro, like I promise life isn't over.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, what? And I'm like thinking to myself, I thought, you know, from that day forward, after I talked to those guys, I was like, dude, you know what? They're right. You know, I see two guys roll into my room, and I'm like, fuck, they're telling me I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, they're telling me life's still good, and I'm like, fuck, you know, maybe they're right. And, you know, since that day, that's like, there was no stopping me, you know. I was like, dude, I'm gonna do what these guys say and check it out. And I did, and I was like, dude, there's a whole nother life out there, you know, which is crazy. Like, you know, when before I got hurt, like when you're an able body, you don't see that many people like in wheelchairs. You might see one or two, you know. But these guys have a big it's called the Wheelchair Sports Festival.
Right.
And I went out to that year, and hundreds of guys in wheelchairs. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell, dude? I'm like, dude, there's way more people in wheelchairs. There's
a community.
Yeah. It's full community.
Yeah,
and
right on.
it's cool because, like, not only do they invite, you know, people with, like, that are in wheelchairs, but they invite able bodies too. Like, hey, come on out and try it, check it out, you know.
Right.
So it's pretty cool, you know. And then ever since I met up with those guys, and they had told me that stuff, I was like, dude, I'm doing this. This is rad, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because, dude, there was people playing. They play, you know, wheelchair tennis. They play baseball. They do rugby. They do hockey. All this stuff, and I'm like, dude, there is a whole other life out there, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
it was cool. It's cool seeing that, and that you know, once I did see that, it like totally changed my mindset. Like, fuck, there is a life out there, you know.
Yeah, you went from thinking, you know, your life was over,
right?
The life you used to know was over, to accepting that,
right.
and finding a new life. And I think that's where our paths crossed when I first came upon you and your name and your Instagram page, which is Russ on Wheels.
Yes, sir.
With the Z at the end, Wheels. If you're following my page, you can find him through there easily. Just search, you know, the people I'm following, Russ on Wheels. But
right.
That's what drew me to you originally. We met. I was working in the action sports world, going to all the Supercross races, and I see a Supercross privateer team in the distance that had a bunch of cool stuff going on at it. And one of the things was they had live music.
Right.
So I kind of walked over there like, who are these guys playing drums? I think it was Oakland or Anaheim Supercross.
Yeah.
Or San Diego, or maybe all three. And Russ was in the pits, and I saw you were challenging people to like a drag race.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's
fun
full
stuff,
on.
you know? And I saw you and I could see your setup, and I'm like, this guy is in a full wheelchair situation.
Right.
He's a quadriplegic, but he's out here. I didn't know who you were. And I'm like, this guy's out here entertaining people, having fun. And so then I found you on Instagram, and then you started following me back.
Right.
And it turned into this thing where, man, I'd wake up in the morning, bro, I'm not kidding you, and I'd be having a really shitty day. In my mind, a shitty day, what I thought was a shitty day. And then his posts are all super inspirational, super uplifting, and super, like, not cheesy, but just make you kind of want to shake yourself. Like, shit, he's right. Like he said, there is a life out there. You know, nothing is the end.
Right.
Like, what you think might be your end is just a new beginning.
100%.
And when I see you post stuff like that, I'm like, man, I need to get my ass up and, you know, start getting some shit done today because Russ said so. So that's kind of where my following for you started, and it's been cool. Why don't you tell us about how, you know, how your mindset, like you said, after meeting those guys changed? Like, what is it?
You know, it's like I never thought I would be paralyzed from diving off a boat, you know.
Right.
I thought I'd be paralyzed from riding my dirt bike or my street bike or something, you know, doing something stupid or crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's how I used to live, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, after I did get hurt, you know, like I said, it was dark for, you know, I think probably not till like I came in October, so probably like January is like when I finally like flipped the switch. Like, dude, stop being a bitch, you know, and accept it, you know.
Yeah.
And once I accepted it, my life turned around. You know,
Right.
I accepted that, you know what, fuck, this is my new life. This is what it's gonna have to be. It could have been worse, you know. I could have died, you know.
Right.
I should just be grateful that I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and it was more like, you know what, dude, I just need to suck it up and go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And I did. And it's not, like a lot of my days are freaking awesome, like happy, smiling, going out there. Not to say that I don't have bad days,
Right.
Everyone's allowed to have a bad day, but you know what? I just don't let a bad day, I don't let like that bad minute ruin my whole day,
Absolutely.
So it's like, let it like ruin the 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, hour, whatever it is, Let it ruin that time, but don't let it ruin your whole day,
Yep.
And it's just like, I'm thankful that I'm still around. This wheelchair has made me who I am.
Yeah.
Has made me a strong person I am, and all that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to his Instagram, like you do stuff that, I mean, if someone, God forbid, were to get paralyzed tomorrow, and they woke up the next day, they wouldn't think half of the stuff you've done is possible.
Right, 100%, and that's why.
That's where your motivation comes in, and I love that. So why don't you touch on that, like some of the stuff you've been able to do since you've been injured that's blown your own mind.
Right.
Like, I can't
Well,
believe I'm
dude,
here
even
right now
like-
doing this.
Like going out to like when Colin jumped 200 feet again.
Right.
He was jumping 200 feet over me. I got Colin Morrison and Colby Raha freaking flying over my head.
Yeah.
I'm going out there and I'm like, dude, this is rad. I don't even know if I would have done that if I wasn't in this chair.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But I did it while I was in the chair and it was rad. You know, and I go out there and I just go out there and I have fun, dude. Like Colin and I did. He makes up these crazy wild skits, and we'll go out there and do them, and it's just fun, Just we go out there and have fun, and it's like the circle of friends that I have is like I'm super blessed to have,
Seems like you have a really, really tight knit group of buddies, and I've noticed you have tapped into, or they've tapped into you by bringing you to what looks like men's groups or support groups or basically anywhere where you can spread your message and help people.
Right.
And like I'm sure, like I've spoken about on previous episodes of my show, when you're able to help others, it helps.
100%, 100%. So like usually I go out with Triumph and we go and we speak to like the newly injured spinal cord people.
Yeah.
So and I go out there and I tell these guys, dude, I promise you, if you accept this, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I promise you, life is still, you can still live a good life, And it's true. Like I go out there and I still, I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything. I go out there, I've gone snow skiing, I've played wheelchair hockey, I go shooting, dude. I got,
awesome.
I'm sure you've seen
I
my
saw
videos.
that. I've seen you do that at the shooting range. I actually was going to ask you about that. Like, how is that shooting a gun?
It's so rad. Like there's a company that makes a mount for my wheelchair. So I mounts to my chair and I can control it with my chin. So I control it left, right, up, down. And
So don't mess with him.
Right, don't mess with me. And then I blow into a tube and it pulls the trigger.
That's so cool.
And it's so rad. It's like before I'd go out there with Colin and and my buddies and they'd put a gun in my hand and they would put their hand over my hand and pull the trigger, which was cool.
Yeah.
But now I could do it myself,
Unassisted.
Yeah,
All you.
it's rad. It's more independence,
Yeah.
It's just like all the shit I have on my phone. Like I could turn my lights on, TV, change the channels, all that shit, Like all like the technology these days is rad, you know. And I think about like if it would have happened to me like 30 years ago, what would I have done?
Yeah, definitely. Without the technology and all that, but I'm sure you would have, like you did now, you probably would have found people in your same situation.
100%, right.
But like you said, what's the group's called? Triumph?
Yes, Triumph Foundation.
And so, with social media and technology, I'm sure it's a lot easier to find people these days and reach out. Whereas, I'm sure even when you first were injured, like you said, a few months went by where you were just in a dark place. And because you probably thought, I don't know anybody like this.
100%, dude.
No one knows that this happened to me besides all my friends and family. Who's gonna walk in that door or roll in the door and help me, And so that's cool that did happen for you.
Yeah, and it's funny because, going back to like how I said, like it just doesn't affect me. There's like friends of mine, like I still probably haven't seen, and it's been like 8 years now, and like even the ones that I've seen that took like a couple years to come around, I'd be like, dude, what took you so long?
Yeah.
And literally they just go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I don't know. Like I didn't know how to act around you or how to be. And I'm like, dude, just be yourself. I'm
Yeah,
like,
just be here.
I'm still me, you know. I still got the brains up top, and I still got the funny laughing attitude, and all that
Yeah.
shit, you know. But you know, I get it. Like I said, and that's where it doesn't just affect me. You know, it affected my friends. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like you said, it's been 8 years.
Right.
You know, some people don't know how to act, and some people don't know, and they don't think about it. How you're just a homie. You
Right,
want your friends
exactly.
around. You want to see
Exactly.
people.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Like,
They're not going to make you sad if
Right.
they're sad to see you after you got injured, because that's natural. What happened to you sucked, but you
Right.
are moving forward. You are
100%.
rolling on.
Yes.
And if they're not down, then don't
no,
come around.
Exactly.
You know?
And you know, it's like I tell them, and they're like, dude, I feel bad for you. Like, dude, don't feel sorry for me, bro.
Yeah.
I promise you, don't feel sorry for me, because I bet you I do more than you do. You know,
Yeah,
I probably do more than you, and I still live a good life. You know, and that's the last thing I want. I don't want anyone feeling sorry for me. You know,
Yeah.
I want them to come and ask me like, hey, how do you use this thing, or what? How do you do this, or how do you do that? You know. I don't mind educating people, dude. I love educating people on how I do things. You know, it's rad. You know,
Yeah.
some people are scared to ask questions. You know, and it's fine. I get it. You know, but you know, once they ask one, dude, it's like they keep going. You
It
know,
opens the floodgates.
yeah, it's
so to
cool
speak.
though. I like it. You know, I can I tell them how I text, or like, dude, how do you text, or how do you make calls, or whatever. You know.
Yeah, and it's remarkable, man. I mean, I've been here for a little over an hour at your place, and to
Right.
see just how you operate and
Right.
do your stuff, it's impressive, man. And like
Right.
it's very understandable that for the first bit of it, you were probably just like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah,
like
100% did.
Really, I mean, anybody would be in that same situation. Like, there's no manual that comes with an injury
Right.
like yours.
Right.
It's not like you're in the hospital and they say, okay, like, this is what your life's gonna be like, because
Right.
I'm sure for everyone it's different.
Yeah.
And for you, you mentioned the physical therapy that was really rigorous afterwards.
Yeah.
You said you were in Colorado.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Like, they wake you up in the morning and it's just,
Dude.
hey, we got to try to make.
Dude, it's not
Improvements.
wake you up. It's a full schedule every day,
Yeah.
like 8 to 5. Dude, I'd be so pissed, dude. I'd be like, I just want to lay in my bed and
Yeah.
not do anything. Like, nope, let's go.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's cool. You know, like make them do it. You know, it's like I wanted to just lay in bed and like, nope, you got to come.
Yeah.
You got to go to. You got physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, all this stuff. You got to go do it. And I would make excuses. Like, nope, you still got to go.
Yeah.
Which I commend them. You know, that's rad. It's you got to do that tough love shit. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just better to be like, no, you got to come do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Man, and I'm sure some of those people that worked at those places are people that
oh, I'm friends with them still.
forever friends. You know,
forever
It's like,
friends for sure.
when you first meet them, you're like, I don't want to see your
Right.
face walk in this door again, bro.
Right,
Stay
right.
away. But then
Yeah.
afterwards, you're like, man, you really saved my life, or you know,
100%. They
changed it.
Yeah, they become like family to you. You know, I spent 3 months. You know, I spent 3 months in rehab, and I saw. You know, I was with them every day. You know, nowadays it's so crazy because if you were to go get hurt, say you got a spinal cord injury, you would go to the hospital and you'd maybe get a month, dude. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's so
And
much quicker now.
well, insurance won't pay for people to stay in the hospital. It's crazy, you know. And a month is not, dude. A month is not enough time, you know.
Right.
Like, because they gotta teach the person that's injured, and you know they gotta teach your family, you know, because
Right.
like when I came home, I didn't have nursing for 3 months, you know, and if I didn't have my brother, my sister, my dad, my mom, all that, if they didn't know what to do, dude, I would have been screwed, you
Yeah.
know. So you know the rehab centers teach the families, you know, hey, this is what you have to do to care for this, you know, for me, you know.
Yeah, man. So your family was, you know, obviously they had to be there for you
Yeah.
at the beginning. I'm sure they're still there for you now.
Oh,
but-
100%.
So like you said, it's a group experience. I mean, you got injured, but everyone's involved,
Right,
you know?
right.
So, and
You know, and it's crazy because like it's like you pick up a routine, a daily routine, and you got, like me, it's like I can't go without having like a nurse. I
Right.
have to have a nurse or a family member or someone here, like I'm not like paras can like move their upper body, and they can transfer themselves from their wheelchair to their bed and feed themselves. I can't do any of that stuff,
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but you know what? It's all good,
Yeah, and like anything else, you just take it in stride, and
Right.
it's part of your life now. And
Right.
I mean, it's like an extended family. I'm sure your nurse, the
Dude,
people that you deal with.
Yeah, my nurses they're all like family to me, dude.
Yeah.
I spend all day with them,
Yep.
Monday through Friday, even like Saturdays and Sundays, I got different ones, but I spend every day with them.
Man.
It's crazy.
And speaking of people you spend a lot of time with, you have some pretty notable friends that are characters. I'm looking at the skateboard
Yeah.
behind you. You got Wee Man
Right.
from Jackass fame.
Right.
I've noticed you spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah, he's
and
a good buddy of mine. Super
you guys
cool guy.
you guys seem to have a really cool bond, and
Yeah.
along with some of your other friends like Andy Roy and
Yeah, Andy,
Colin
Scummy,
Morrison. It's like it seems like all of you guys have kind of found each other. I know you've been friends with Jordan Burns also, but it seems like this tight knit group of guys, and not only are they there for you, but I really feel like you're there for them, and it's kind of like this big. You guys all kind of feed off each other and motivate each other. And I noticed recently they've been taking you out to places to speak to like men's groups and stuff like that. And so, I mean, touch on that. Like, what's it like having your story, telling your story like you are right now, and knowing that it is helping people?
I don't look at it like I just look at it like as me telling my story, but like it's crazy because the feedback I get after like I go speak like to a men's group or a rehab, people are like, dude, thank you so much for telling your story. It's great. Like your story really hit home for me, and I'm like, I don't think of it like that,
Yeah.
I just think of it me telling my story.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's rad. It makes me feel good, like, hey, dude, my story might have helped them, It's
Yeah.
cool, because like I'll go speak at like a drug rehab, and like, I tell these guys when I go there and speak, and I tell them, I'm like, you guys can go to bed tonight and you guys can make that choice in the morning when you wake up, like, hey, I'm going to do this drug, or I'm going to drink this beer, or whatever it is that you have an issue with. And I say, like, I can't go to bed tonight, wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm going to go for a run, or a walk or whatever. I know I can't do that, but,
Right.
but what I can do is wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm going to wake up with a good attitude, and I'm going to fucking be happy, and I'm going to handle each day, every day, one day at a time,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I tell them, it's like, you guys have that choice, and I have the choice to accept this injury, and I have accepted it, and that has totally changed my life,
Yeah. And I feel like, someone's battling anything in their life,
Right.
recovery being one of the things that a lot of people are involved in, battling sobriety or
Right.
addiction. When you meet someone like you who has the message that you have, you kind of look at the issues in your life and you realize I can take this on.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
up here in my head that
It
I'm
is.
preventing myself from
Right.
getting after it, because Russ's head works just fine and he's getting after shit.
Right.
So I feel like that's the message that you kind of want to portray, that like, hey, I'm not trying to tell you what to do or,
Right.
or how to live your
100%.
life, but this is how I've started to enjoy mine. And
Right.
I have a situation that most people would write me off as, he's
Right.
probably bitter, upset, but no, you're positive every day. So it's just,
I try to be, and like I said, it's like who wants to wake up like freaking negative Nancy, dude? I'm like, I'm not about that, dude. I get up, like you said, you follow me, so like every morning I wake up, I'll post something positive,
Yep.
and that's what I like to do. That's how I start my day. That starts my day on a positive note.
Yeah.
And if I could help one person in a day, dude, I've done my job.
Yeah,
Hopefully I can help more than that. But if I've helped one, my job's done. You know, I love it. It makes me happy, you know. And people will send me messages, dude, thank you so much, dude. I really needed this or needed that. And I'm like, cool, that's rad, you know.
Yeah.
I love it, you know. And it's like, I look at it like, almost like if I could do it, you can do it, you know. And I'm not saying I live a bad life or my life's bad, you know, but it's just what I've made of it, you know.
Exactly.
It's what we make of it, you know, and I've decided to make it a good one, you know.
Exactly. And I think you hear that a lot from people of all types of lives, where you hear, you know, success stories and people, they say life is truly what you make of it. Right. And right. Like you just said, you know, you could have easily picked the pity party
right.
route. Could easily just said, you know what, guys, don't come over.
100%.
I don't want to be seen.
Right.
Close
and
the windows.
That's what I was doing the first, you know, 3 months. And dude, that wasn't me. I was always a happy-go-lucky guy, dude. Right. Class clown, all that shit, you know. So it was like, dude, this is not me, and I can't live the rest of my life like this.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, dude, I can't do it.
And like you said earlier, like as bad as your situation is, it could have been that much worse, which would have been you not being around.
Right. So my kids could have lost their dad.
Yeah, they would have. Exactly. And what's the point of, like you just said, if you got this life, it's a gift, and yours was preserved through a nasty accident.
There was a reason. Like there was a reason I'm still here. You know, I don't know if it's for me to go out there and speak to other people about, you know, about life or whatever, but there's a reason. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be, you know.
Yeah, and that leads me to asking you, like, obviously, what's your new passion in life, just besides speaking to people? Is that what you want to do from here on out? You want to?
You know, I really enjoy speaking. Like going out and speaking. Like I love it. I'd like to do that more. I'd like to write a book, you know, about my story. That'd be cool. You know, awesome. You know, just gotta find what are they, ghostwriters or whatever. Yeah. I have no clue where to start. But
anybody out there want to help Russ get on his book? Man.
Dude, help me out. I want to write a book.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know. You know, that'd be cool to write a book on my story. You know, but my main thing is going out there and talking like to the newly injured or anyone. You know, I speak at like kids camps. You know, like troubled teens. You know, I'll do that. I speak at the rehabs, all that stuff. No, I really enjoy doing that. You know.
Yeah, it's powerful because I mean, like we said, anybody who's going through anything in their life, it's always good to get a new perspective, like anything in life. If you're going through a breakup, a divorce, you lose your job, you get injured, sick, when you meet other people who are going through or have gone through something like you or worse or heavier, it really makes things feel less heavy on yourself, you know, and so you being able to share that's incredible. Tell us about how Russ puts out merch on his Instagram, and he's got a cool new hoodie that's out. Why don't you tell us about that?
It's cool. You know, it's just like, it's nothing like, I'm not trying to like become a millionaire, you know, off stuff. It's just little stuff I enjoy doing, you know. I'll put like a little hoodie out or whatever.
There's a quote on the most recent one. What's it say?
It says, you are your own fucking, wait, what was it?
You are your only fucking limit or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. You are your own. You are your only fucking limit.
I love it.
That's what it is.
And so if you check out his Instagram, you can check those out, and they're up for purchase.
Yeah, you know, it's just something fun to do. You know, it's just I like to put out like hoodies during the winter, shirts during summertime, all that stuff. You know. And
I've seen a lot of. I mean, before COVID shut everything down up here in LA, I saw you were doing a lot of cool like fundraiser stuff at bars and restaurants.
I do one I try to do a fun, like we do one every year, you know, for me. Helps me stay in my house, you know.
It's expensive to have the health care that you need to survive, I'm assuming.
You know, it helps with the medical stuff and for me to, you know, stay in my house so I don't have to go like to a nursing home or something.
Right.
You know, which hopefully I'll never have to go to, you know.
Yeah. And so tell me, I saw recently on your page you were able to get out and see your son. I think it was play soccer.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time.
It was last weekend. You know, I had to journey out to Coachella.
Oh man,
which is a journey from here. But it was cool. It was worth it, dude. It was so rad. I love watching my kids play what a sport that they love. And with COVID, they haven't played in like a year.
Yeah.
And finally, last Saturday, they had a little tournament.
That's
It was
awesome.
good. It was rad to go out there and watch.
And for you, I'm sure, just being out there is just, that's a win.
Right.
You're just like, I'm here. I'm
100%.
enjoying the sunshine,
It
watching my
is,
boy
yeah.
play some soccer.
100%. I love watching my kids. They love soccer, and I love watching them play, dude. It's so rad.
Yeah. So honestly, man, I just wanted to get your story, and I mean, it moves me to think about it whenever I see your page. I just think about, your life is it's an interesting one. It's a motivational one. It's motivated me, and like I'm like you
It's
said,
rad. I love it.
and you said you use the term able-bodied for people like me.
Right.
It's really easy for people like me to get caught up in your head and realize that you think you make a bigger deal of things than they really are.
Right.
And I think
And that's one thing I've learned, since I've got hurt is like, dude, you can't stress yourself out on life. That's like the shit that's out of your hands is out of your hands.
exactly.
Let it go. There's a lot of people out there that dwell on that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you have to let it go, because, dude, if not, you're gonna freaking drive yourself crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've learned that, like, I used to be like, I like to control my own shit,
Oh, yeah.
and now it's like, dude, someone has to drive me around, so the way they drive, I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm just holding on for the ride, like I used to drive, I drove a certain way, and now I got to get used to the way they drive me around,
Right.
or like with eating or any of the stuff I do, it's like I used to have my own routine, and then I had to throw someone in the mix now, and they're doing my routine for me, you
Yeah.
know. And I used to get so much anxiety over that, like, oh my God, they're not doing it the way I used to, But I finally was just like, you know what, I just have to let it go.
Yep.
I have to let it go, let them do it like the way they're doing it. At least they're doing it for me, And I'm like, whatever, it is what it is, And that's just something little, Like, but I used to drive me crazy. Like when it first got hurt, I was like, oh my God, dude, you're not doing it the way I used to do it,
And you hear that, like, people out there who are listening, that is the stuff that people let get in between their relationships, and that'll cause a fight or will, drive you nuts about one of your friends when, you got to let that shit go.
100%, dude. It's like, I came to the conclusion that everything I used to do, I just have to let them do it the way they're going to do it.
It's a little different now.
Yeah, 100%. It's totally different.
Yeah.
But it's okay, And, like I said, it is what it is. And, I just roll with it now. I don't let that stuff bother me. It's like, when people will be like, I told you, like, they say, oh, I feel so sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for me. Or they'll be like, dude, if you could walk tomorrow, would you? And my answer to those guys are no.
Man.
And people go, well, you're fucking lying, dude. No way. I'm like, seriously, dude, I would not. I would not walk tomorrow if I could, because this wheelchair has made me who I am. Like, if I was never in this wheelchair, I would have never met the people I met. I would never be who I am today, And this wheelchair is me, dude. I love this thing.
Yeah, and like just like you said, you had to accept your situation.
Right.
You stopped the what ifs there. Mm-hmm. So there's no more what ifs from there.
Right.
There's no more going back to what if you walk tomorrow,
No.
because your new life is this, and
is my wheelchair.
You've
dude.
owned it.
I own it every day, dude.
It's
and I've come to the conclusion that this thing's gonna be strapped to my ass, and it's cool, dude. I don't care. I love it. And I don't need to walk, dude. I've done it, and like I said, this chair has made me who I am, the better person that I've become.
Right.
And it's rad. If I was going to walk, cool. I'd let it happen, but I'm not gonna go out there and I'm not gonna do all the stem cell and all the shit to try to make me walk. You know, if it's gonna happen, it can happen by itself.
Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that full same situation as I was. On a vent, quad, couldn't move from the neck down. The dude started walking. It's fucking crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's rad. And if that happens to me, cool. If not, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I really, it's not like I don't sit there and go, fuck, I wish I could walk tomorrow. I wish I could walk. God, please let me walk.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I've been there. I've done it. And like I said, I'm cool with my wheelchair,
Yeah, you're focusing more on what you can do.
Yeah.
And making the most of what you're able to do rather than just dwelling on the past or shit that's unavailable to you 100%, anymore. I think we're all guilty of doing that, looking back. Man, I wish things were like they used to be. Well, they're never going to be like they used to be, in most situations.
It's all old water under the bridge,
Yeah.
And you just move on, and like I said, I've accepted that this wheelchair is my life, and it's gave me a good life, dude.
Yeah.
I still live a bitchin' life, and, I can't say that my life's boring,
No, it doesn't seem boring at all, man. Like every day I see you doing stuff, and one of the funniest videos I've seen in the last year or so was Colin Morrison, your buddy Scummy. He works, I believe, he has a side business of he services fire extinguishers. So they rigged some fire extinguishers to your wheelchair, and made it look like you were a Tesla rocket going down the street, which was pretty badass.
And it's funny because Colin came up. He's like, dude, come to my house. I got this skit I want to do with you, all laid out. And I'm like, I always go, oh shit, what's he got going?
Okay, I'll be there tomorrow.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna strap this freaking fire extinguisher to your chair. We're gonna do this, da 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 da. And he goes through it all. I'm like, all right, dude, let's do it.
The full on countdown, like a Cape Canaveral, like NASA launch, and like sound effects. It was awesome. So that's the stuff that I get a kick out of seeing. Like I said
that's
earlier.
The thing. That's what we do. I go out there and I make the best of every day. You know, and I'm not sitting in my room and having a pity party for myself and poor me.
Exactly.
I'm not all about that, dude. I want to go out there and have fun and hang out with my buddies.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. It's fun. It's life. Life isn't over.
Right. And so, yeah, I'd like to ask you, how could people out there who are listening, how can they be part of what you do? Basically, just keep following along and seeing what's going on.
And they, people can follow me or reach out to me. Especially, I always tell them reach out to me if you need. I don't have the answers to everything.
Yeah.
For sure I don't have the answers, but I could tell you how I did it. And maybe what I did might help you a little bit or someone else a little bit, or whatever,
Definitely. And then I'd like to just kind of wrap up asking you, obviously you got a long life left to live, but what do you want your legacy, or what would you like to be known for, when the party ends someday and they say, Russ on wheels.
Right.
What about you? Besides he was epic, what would you like your message to be for people, and just kind of
I just want them to be like, dude, that guy always inspired me, that guy always inspired me to do a little better, be a little better, every time I saw him, he's like, the guy was smiling, having fun,
Exactly.
That's what I want to be known for. Just, the guy that's just out there to, help other people get through their demons or whatever, It's just something that, like I said, I don't have every answer to fix every problem, but I could tell you what I do and how I do my stuff that helped me,
Yeah, and I think that's extremely powerful, man. Like we've spoken about, you didn't get into the situation you're in on purpose, obviously. Right. You didn't plan on any of this happening. You didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to meet all these cool guys and have this new lifestyle. But because you got out of bed, because you got out of that 3-month-long funk and you kept charging, you live to talk about it, and you're inspiring 100%. People.
And, it's rad that, like you say, hey, your posts inspire me, or even just yourself, you inspire me.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. I like hearing that, dude. It's rad. I'm not, I don't sit there and hey, dude, do I inspire you? Yeah. No, dude. People just be like, bro, thank you for doing what you're doing, and keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, rad, right on. Thank you. I love it.
And that's how I feel about you, man. Personally, I want to thank you for sitting here with me, letting me come invade your space.
No, dude, it's rad. Thanks for having me on the show, dude.
Of course.
It's rad. It's an honor for me, dude,
And that's humbling for me to hear because, like I said, when I met you, man, it was like an instant, like, gravitational thing where I was like, I got to follow this guy. I got to, I got to pick into or tap into your positivity sometimes, and I'm sure you have friends that you are friends with where you tap into their positivity when you're feeling down.
And that's why I say, like, you are who you surround yourself with, If you want to be positive and successful, then you surround yourself with positive and successful people,
Yeah.
My circle of people are rad, dude. They're all positive. They all got my back. It's like, hey, Russ, let's go do this. Like a lot of the times it's like they're telling me, hey, let's go here or go there. I'm like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, dude. And Colin's like one of those ones. Is like, I'll be like, nah, dude, I'm cool. No, let's go. We're doing it. It was like, we'll figure a way to get you to do this or do that, and it's like friends like that. It's like, dude, that's what, friends are for. Like when they're like, hey, dude, we're going to find a way for you to do it and we're going to make it happen.
That's awesome.
And it's rad, dude. And it's probably, that's, something like that is like push me to like be where I am now, Yeah,
it's like, and to kind of wrap up is like he just said, if everyone out there can help someone, everyone needs help, whether they ask for it or not. And one of the best ways to help people, I believe, is to involve them.
Right.
Whether it's just checking in on them, hey, how you doing? Sup, what you doing?
Right.
Or force them to get out. If one of your friends seems like they're in a funk, or if you haven't seen them lately or heard from them, barring the COVID restrictions that we've all been under, we all know when one of our friends is kind of missing from the picture.
Yeah.
And to tell them, you're coming out. We're gonna figure it out. That goes a long way.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
And so yeah, we just want to thank you, Russ, for being on the show,
Joey.
and thanks for sharing your story. And
Thanks for having me, dude. It's rad.
you can find him on Instagram, Russ_on_wheels with a Z.
Yes, sir.
And give him a follow.
Yes, sir.
Do it for me, do it for him, and do it for yourself. Because, like I said, I've been inspired since I met Russ, and just sitting here with you today, I feel it like even more. Like I have no excuses, but to just get shit done.
There's no excuses for not doing what you want to do, or being who you want to be, Excuses are for assholes, Everyone has one,
And they all stink.
Yeah. So just get out there and do it, like quit procrastinating,
That's powerful right there. All right, guys. Well, we're
out.
going to wrap it up. Thanks,
Thank you,
Russ.
Joey.
Thank you to my guys, Vinny and Jeff, for helping with this episode. You guys are awesome. We're out.
Later.